Buffalo Bills and the Sabres are aiming for 100% capacity at games this upcoming season. But there is a catch, though. Fans who want to be in the stands, they have to be fully vaccinated. So here to talk about that, we want to bring in Mark Poloncarz. He is Erie County's executive. Mark, it's great to have you here on Yahoo Finance. You made this announcement earlier this month. It caught our attention. I assume that there's probably been some pushback from some fans out there, maybe some players and their spouses. What has the response been like that you've received since making this announcement?
Well, thank you for having me here this afternoon. In general, the response has been very good. People want to get back into the games, but they want to know it's a safe environment. So our announcement earlier this year is we want to return to 100% capacity at both the football stadium for the Bills and the hockey arena for the Sabres, which Erie County both owns. And the only way we're going to be able to do that, we believe, is if everyone's vaccinated. The fans, as well as the employees, the ticket takers, the concessionaires. And I've had a great response. Yes, there are some people who've critiqued it, but the vast majority of people want to get back into the football games, and they know there's not going to be a way to do it at 100% capacity unless everyone is vaccinated. We're working with the Bills already to set up the plan for this fall, assuming that the first preseason game would be held sometime in August. And we wanted to announce it early enough to give everybody a chance to understand that there's many good reasons to get vaccinated, but another one of those is it'll give you access to the football stadium or the hockey arena this fall.
There are lots of apps out there. New York State has the Excelsior Pass. There's a global pass that the World Economic Forum created through their Trust network. But how do you do this in a way that people who are just absolutely afraid of this term, passport, vaccine passport, how do you do it in a way to get them to comply?
Well, we know that there's different platforms out there. We're talking with the Bills as we speak right now with regards to those platforms, because not every single person who goes to a Bills game comes from New York State, and it's only New York State residents that are able to access the Excelsior app. The Excelsior app will work for New York State residents, but we know it won't work from somebody from Pennsylvania or Ohio who may be coming up for a game. Our goal is to remind everybody that the only way we're going to get back to a normal situation in our society, however we deemed normal before the pandemic, is if everyone's vaccinated. If we have 30 or 40% of our public that's still not vaccinated, we're going to be dealing with COVID-19 for quite some time, especially considering the mutations and the variants that we're seeing. So we want to remind everybody that number one, we want to get back to normal. Number two, people have said, oh, government will know whether I'm vaccinated. Well, in New York State, we already know you're vaccinated. New York State has a system called the NICES system, in which all vaccine data is uploaded, and your local Department of Health can access it to determine whether an individual actually has been vaccinated or not. Now, we're not going to use it to go after individuals. We're not mandating an individual to get vaccinated. If they don't want to get vaccinated, they don't have to get vaccinated, but there are consequences to decisions. And if you decide you don't want to get vaccinated and we want 100% capacity at the stadium, and we know the only way to do it is by ensuring everyone's vaccinated, well, then you're probably not going to attend the games in fall.
Mark, do you have plans to implement this at other crowded areas in the county, like at concert venues or places like that?
Well, we certainly can do it at the football and stadium and the hockey arena because Erie County owns them. We have leases that go out to the football and hockey team, but they are our facilities. We set the standards through our Department of Health. You can't smoke in any of these facilities. You can't walk in with an alcoholic beverage. If you're visibly intoxicated, you will be removed. If you violate any of the codes of conduct, you will be removed. So we can do that. If it's not a county-owned facility, we do not believe we have the ability to do it. But what we're recommending, especially to concert venues, smaller ones, is if they want to get back to 100% capacity, they should do the same thing. But we're not going to mandate it. When it comes to a football stadium where there's 70,000 fans and another 8,000 or so that are working that day on site, we know the only way to protect everybody is by ensuring that they're all vaccinated. And for those that are not county facilities, we're certainly recommending it, but we don't have the power to mandate it. So all we're doing is a recommendation.
Are you talking to any other municipalities anywhere in the United States which have started to look at the same kind of proposals to see how they've done it or they intend to implement it?
Well, I have quite a number of colleagues of mine that I work with across the United States, county executives from counties that own stadiums. So they're all very interested in how this goes here. And I would not be surprised if we're the only one that does this. I think I should say I would be surprised if we are the only one that does it, because I think we're going to see, as we move along, professional sports wanting to get back to a point where they have 100% capacity. But until we've eliminated the danger of COVID, we cannot do that unless you limit the capacity and you limit the space between individuals. Testing an individual is not satisfactory, because someone who is not vaccinated could get a test 72 hours before the game. They could pick up COVID in the meantime, get a result that comes back negative, go to the game, and theoretically be sick at the game. We know if you're vaccinated, you are provided tremendous protection from illness and hospitalization. And we think it's the only way we'll get it back in. And the conversations I've had, I'm not going to identify who, but the conversations I have had with some of my colleagues indicates to me that they are also considering this for their own communities.